welcome back to our show. Right before we went to commercial break, we was talking in the area of, as far as your background, as far as being a paralegal. So would you just go ahead and share with our viewers a little bit more information about that?
Sure. So I started my career out as a paralegal, and as one may or may not know, the paralegal is one that is specialized in different areas, such as an attorney,
Yeah.
and we are there to support attorneys.
Hmm.
One can also tell you that being a paralegal, a 2-year paralegal, is actually more valuable than a 1-year attorney.
Right.
We definitely have to understand the Georgia Code section. We have to understand what forms should or should not be filed with the court. We have to understand those statutory deadlines. So because I came into the judicial system with a paralegal background, it made me an even better clerk. Because as you're starting to file litigation papers, I know exactly, okay, this particular document is missing this certificate of service.
Right.
This particular motion has missed this particular deadline, let me bring it to the court's attention. And even as a clerk, my skill set when it comes to writing motions and orders for the court, we do that as clerks. And that is all due to the fact that I served as a paralegal. And I served as a paralegal for about 12 years.
Oh, wow.
And so I've served with some very top-rate attorneys,
Mhm.
some attorneys in the Atlanta area that were featured on the Daily Report. And so definitely I do owe my public sector the acknowledgement of my duties as a paralegal within the private sector. So I'm very proud of that.
Right, and I do know also in the paralegal field there's a lot of litigation that has to take place. So
Absolutely.
you basically you are just as important as the attorney that you are actually working for, you, because basically you just have to know pretty much just as much about the law as he or she does.
Yes, that is correct.
And so that's very important. So with the position that you're running for, how many other candidates are running for this same position?
So there are 2 other candidates, and again, I'd like to place emphasis on that I am the most qualified candidate. I am the only homegrown candidate and the only experienced clerk in this race.
Okay. Now, basically, what brought you to this point to where you decided that the political field is the area that you feel like you need to go in? I mean, where did that inspiration come from? I mean, you was fulfilled in what you was doing, but now you're saying, I want to go to another level. What brought you to this point in your life that where you feel like this is the direction you need to go in?
Understood. That is such an excellent question because right now I am serving as the city clerk of Stone Mountain. I was unanimously appointed by the mayor and council. When I served as Rockdale County's magistrate clerk of court, I was appointed by our chief magistrate judge. And so serving as an appointed clerk of court is slightly different than being elected.
Okay.
Because coming into this race, I want to make sure that I'm giving Rockdale County what it needs and what it deserves. Rockdale County is a great county,
Okay.
and it deserves a great clerk of court, and I do believe that I am that person based on the experience and the knowledge that I have gained over the years.
Okay. Okay. And so you had worked in, what did you say, Stone Mountain?
Currently the city clerk of Stone Mountain,
Okay.
that's correct.
Yeah, and you're definitely right about an appointed position over an elected position. With that being said, what do you think your vision is? What do you see yourself accomplishing in this new role, in this position?
Well, in this particular new role, there are 159 counties in the state of Georgia.
Okay.
So I want the Rockdale County Superior and State Court to be a model Superior and State Court for all of the counties. When operating within any court, you have to be familiar with the uniform rules. And so that is going to take you a long way when it comes to being able to know the operations of the court. I am familiar and I know those rules. As a paralegal, I had to practice within those parameters of the state court and the superior court uniform rules. So within Rockdale County, we do have, the city of Conyers, and we do have the county of Rockdale. Rockdale County has your probate court, your magistrate court, also your state and your superior court. And so the state and the superior court are 2 different jurisdictions. I can't express that enough to let the community know that you're going to operate differently. One may never know when you may be impacted by the court. It may not be you, it may be a loved one. But you want someone in office that knows what they're doing so that that operation can go smoothly. You want someone in office that can understand the different parameters of both courts so that they can not only work with our judicial officers, but all of the elected officials. Because on both sides, what we do at the state and the Superior Court level does impact other courts.
Okay. All right, Mallory, what would you actually be doing moving forward as far as trying to make sure that you get young people out to the polls also to vote, and those that may not even be registered?
So right now, being the city clerk, I also serve as the election superintendent. I'm certified by the state of Georgia. I was certified to do the elections for the city of Rockdale, and now I'm certified to do the elections for the city of Stone Mountain, which is a part of DeKalb County. So although we have an IGA, it's still important for me to get out and to talk to our youth about voting, to make sure that our youth is not only knowledgeable, but also prepared to vote. Because believe it or not, and I just learned this,
okay.
I am a millennium.
Okay, you're a millennium.
Believe it or not, yes. So with that being said, we do have the voting power. And I don't think that we understand that. And so for me to continue to give back and talk to our students, I believe that is highly important. And that's not something that I'm wanting to start now. We produce leaders from the Magistrate Court of Rockdale County under the direction of our Chief Magistrate Judge, our current Chief Magistrate Judge. So while at the Rockdale County Magistrate Court, I have the opportunity to work with the WBL program, which is our work-based learning program at the Rockdale County RCA, so Rockdale Career Academy. And so from there, I started to intertwine and incorporate those interns with the magistrate court so that they could gain the work-based learning that they need to move forward as they continue their high school, credit hours, and also to gain work-based knowledge as they continue on in their careers. In addition to that, you may be familiar with a young lady by the name of Kimberly Hurt. She interned with us. She's the Boys and Girls Club Youth of the Year throughout the state of Georgia.
Wow.
And she came to the Rockdale County Magistrate Court and she interned with us. And she was under my direct supervision, which again I owe it all to our Chief Magistrate, who really allowed me to foster as a clerk and to really incorporate those different innovations. And so that was a plus. So reaching back to our youth is very important to me. I want to see more youth programs within the judicial system because we have to understand that leadership is very important and we want to have the right leader in place.
Yeah, I appreciate everything that you said because it's vitally important that you have good leadership and have the right people in place. Now through this process, how many actually young people you think you impacted through the processes that you just described to us?
Oh, I believe more than I could probably count. Because once we started to allow those WBL interns, we saw other departments starting to do so. So it started to be a trend. So not only did the magistrate court have, I was directly in charge of about 5 interns each semester. So that was a lot. They were very active. They helped to scan documents, helped to make copies, things that really make a difference, believe it or not. And then throughout the county, we started to see interns throughout different departments. Even at that particular time, the Superior and State Court had some additional interns added. So I think it was just a great opportunity for us to open up those doors and see that trend quickly follow throughout the judicial circuit.
Okay. Now, the position that you are presently running for, is there someone already in a position, or are they running to be re-elected, or are they retiring, or why is the seat actually open?
Well, this is an open seat because our current Madam Clerk Wilson, she is retiring.
Okay. So she's retiring, so that left it. How long has she been there? Quite a while?
Quite a while, yes.
Okay.
I believe she's in her 3rd term.
Okay, 3rd term.
Yes.
Okay. Well, we're going to go ahead and we're going to go to a commercial break, and we will be right back after this.